1 year later. I'm sitting in my tiny apartment, swiping through Tinder for what feels like the millionth time, when Taylor shows up with wine. Not the cheap stuff we used to drink in college, actual grown-up wine that probably cost more than my electric bill. That's Taylor for you, always trying to class things up. Still looking? She asks, nodding at my phone. She doesn't have to specify what I'm looking for. We both know. Just browsing, I say. But we both know that's a lie too. I've been on more first dates in the past year than I can count. None of them stick. Either they're just looking for hookups, which, I get it, but I'm not in college anymore, or they do this weird thing where they actually want to know about my past relationships. That's always fun. Oh, I was married. Their eyes get all wide. It didn't work out. Then comes the awkward part where they try to figure out what happened without actually asking. Sometimes I tell them Andrew was controlling. Sometimes I say we grew apart. Sometimes, if I've had enough wine, I tell them about the dating apps and watch them try not to judge me. You know, Taylor says, pouring us both a second glass, you lost a good man. We both laugh, but something in my chest feels tight. Not because she's right. She's not, obviously. But because, well, I don't know why. Please, I say, taking a big sip. Andrew? Mr. Let's swap phones? Mr. Why are you still on dating apps? I'm so much better off now. Taylor gives me this look, the kind of look only someone who's known you since 9th grade can give you. Are you, though? I start to say yes, but my phone buzzes. Another Tinder notification. Another guy asking what I'm looking for. What am I looking for? I'm just waiting for someone more on my level, I tell her, but even I can hear how hollow it sounds. Someone who gets me, you know? Like Andrew got you? She asks quietly. I roll my eyes, but I can't help clicking over to Facebook. Andrew's profile is still public. He never was big on privacy settings. There's a new picture of him at some local coffee shop. Not a chain, one of those hipster places with the fancy latte art. He's with this girl I've seen in a few of his posts lately. She owns the place, according to my stalking. Research. She's pretty, I guess, if you're into that natural, no makeup look. They're both laughing at something off camera. She's not even that cute, I mutter, but Taylor just takes a sip of wine. Remember when you used to laugh like that with him? She asks. Whatever. I close Facebook, open Tinder again. I'm talking to this really promising guy, investment banker, super mature. Taylor scrolls through my matches. Is that why his profile says, here for a good time, not a long time? I grab my phone back. At least he's honest about it, unlike some people. Yeah, Taylor says, giving me that look again. Unlike some people. We sit there in silence for a minute, just drinking our wine. Finally, she says what we've both been thinking. You know, none of these guys are going to be Andrew. Good. I snap, but my voice cracks a little. I don't want them to be. My phone buzzes again. Another match. Another potential Mr. Right Now. I start crafting my usual opener, something flirty but not too eager. Taylor watches me, shaking her head. You'll find someone, she says, but we both know she doesn't believe it. Neither do I, if I'm being honest. But I can't admit that. Won't admit that. Instead, I just pour another glass of wine and start telling her about this new guy I'm talking to. He seems different, I tell her. More mature, more established, more everything that Andrew wasn't. But late that night, after Taylor leaves, I find myself back on Andrew's profile, looking at that coffee shop photo. They really do look happy. The kind of happy I used to feel back when Andrew's weird history facts made me laugh instead of roll my eyes. Back when his quiet confidence made me feel safe instead of judged. Whatever. I close the app, open Tinder again, start swiping. Someone better is just one match away. They have to be. Right? You know what's funny? When your whole life falls apart, Facebook really becomes your best friend. Where else can you tell your side of the story without anyone interrupting? So yeah, maybe I've been posting a lot lately. Sue me. Started small, just changed my relationship status to it's complicated. The notifications started rolling in immediately. You'd think people would mind their own business, but no. Everyone had to know what happened. So I gave them something to talk about. Sometimes you outgrow relationships that no longer serve your growth. That post got 200 likes. Mackenzie commented, and a bunch of my old girlfriends from college started sharing their own breakup stories. Even DeMarcus liked it, which felt kind of good, even though I probably shouldn't admit that. I didn't mention the dating apps thing. Obviously. Just posted this long thing about how marriage shouldn't mean losing yourself, and how some men say they want a strong woman but can't actually handle one. The sympathy came pouring in. Everyone saying how brave I am, how I deserve better. Andrew hasn't posted anything. Typical. He's probably sitting there reading his boring history books or whatever. But his sister Ashley had the nerve to comment, "There's always two sides to every story." Like, what's that supposed to mean? I blocked her. And then his mom started calling, so I blocked her too. The weird thing is, some of my friends have gotten kind of distant. Katie, who I've known since high school, left me on read when I sent her screenshots of Andrew's controlling behavior. And Sarah, who's usually first to comment on everything, hasn't liked any of my posts since it happened. Whatever. I've got plenty of support from my real friends. Mackenzie's been amazing, letting me crash at her place. We've been going out almost every night, taking lots of pictures to show everyone how great I'm doing. Living my best life post-marriage. Got over 300 likes. But then last night, something weird happened. I was scrolling through Instagram at like 3 a.m., kind of tipsy from girls' night, and found myself on Andrew's page. He hasn't posted much, just this one picture at some coffee shop I'd never heard of. Nothing special about it, just him looking annoyingly happy with some book and his coffee. But the caption? New chapter. 312 likes. The comments were what got me. All these people saying how great he looked, how they missed him, asking if he wanted to grab coffee and catch up, including this barista girl who apparently works at that coffee shop. "So glad you found us. Come back soon." I almost threw my phone across the room. Like, how dare he look okay without me? I wanted to comment something, let everyone know what really happened. But Mackenzie took my phone away. Probably for the best. I was about to post some screenshots of our old conversations that definitely wouldn't have made him look good. Instead, I posted this really cute selfie from the club. You know, just to show him what he's missing. Caption. Some people will never understand your value, and that's okay. They weren't meant to be part of your future. DeMarcus liked it within minutes and commented, "Their loss." I liked his comment back. Petty? Maybe. But it felt good to know I've still got options. That not everyone thinks I'm some horrible person just because I didn't want to be trapped in a boring marriage with someone who clearly didn't appreciate me. Besides, all these posts are just helping me process everything. It's therapeutic, really. And if people want to judge me for it, well, that just shows they never really knew me to begin with. Just like Andrew. I knew something was off the moment Andrew came home from work early yesterday. He had this look on his face, all serious and determined, like when he's about to close a big sale at the dealership. But instead of his usual, "Hey babe," he just stood there in our living room, holding his phone like it was evidence or something. "Let's swap phones," he said, just like that. No context, no explanation. At first I played it cool, like, why wouldn't I? "Sure, whatever," I said, but I needed to know what he was thinking. Is something wrong? Did someone say something? I kept my phone in my pocket, trying to read his face. That's when he hit me with this whole speech about trust and marriage, and how if I had nothing to hide, it shouldn't be a problem. Like, excuse me? Since when did marriage mean giving up all privacy? But the way he was looking at me, I knew he knew something. "This is ridiculous," I told him. "You're acting insecure over nothing. Remember last month when you got jealous over my gym trainer? And it turned out he was gay?" I tried laughing it off, but Andrew wasn't biting. "Isabella," he said my name all stern like he was talking to a child. "I heard you the other night. About DeMarcus, about missing your hoe phase, about how you'd hit that again. Okay, so maybe that wasn't my finest moment, but also, you were eavesdropping on me and my friends? In my own house? That's toxic behavior, Andrew. Really controlling." I started pulling out all the greatest hits. How he never lets me be myself. How he's trying to change me. How he knew who I was when he married me. But he just stood there, holding out his phone. "If there's nothing to hide, let's swap, right now." That's when I got mad. Like, actually mad. You know what? No, I don't have to prove anything to you. This is classic narcissistic behavior. trying to control your partner's privacy. Thank God for all those relationship TikToks, right? I thought I was handling it pretty well, turning things around on him, but then he said something that made my blood run cold. I saw the Tinder notification on your phone earlier when you were showing me that meme. Oh, I forgot I'd turned notifications back on after my last girls' night. Stupid mistake. But you know what? Whatever, it's just for fun, I shot back. Mackenzie and I look at profiles together when we're bored. It's not like I'm actually meeting anyone. He didn't say anything, just pulled out his own phone and started reading. Looking for fun, no strings attached. Not looking for anything serious, just good times. Single and ready to mingle. My actual Tinder bio, word for word. That could be anyone, I tried, but my voice sounded weak even to me. Some people probably copied my photos. Isabella. His voice was different now, tired. I saw your messages too, the ones to DeMarcus, the ones about meeting up but chickening out at the last minute. You went through my phone? While I was sleeping? Now I was actually pissed. That's literally abusive behavior. I'm going to need you to leave right now. I don't feel safe with someone who violates my privacy like that. Abusive? He laughed, but not like anything was funny. You're really gonna spin this? Make yourself the victim? Classic Isabella. Never your fault, is it? You're being a little bitch about this, I snapped. The words just came out. So what if I have dating apps? So what if I talk to other guys? At least they know how to excite a woman, how to make her feel alive. When's the last time you did that? The moment I said it, I knew I'd gone too far. Not because I hurt him, honestly, he needed to hear it, but because I saw something change in his eyes. That look he used to give me like I was special, it just disappeared. Pack a bag, he said quietly. You can stay with Mackenzie tonight. I'll have your stuff ready tomorrow. Are you serious right now? Over some stupid dating app? I tried to make it sound ridiculous, but my voice was shaking. I didn't even meet up with anyone. I was just looking. But he was already walking to our bedroom. The bedroom door closed with a click that sounded way too final. Lately, I've been feeling more like my old self. Not the boring Mrs. Mitchell who wears cardigans to dinner parties, but the real me. The fun me. Last week I went shopping with Mackenzie and bought this cute little crop top. Andrew had a fit when he saw the credit card bill, but whatever. It's my money too, right? The girls and I have been going out more. Nothing crazy, just drinks after work that sometimes turn into dancing, that sometimes turn into 2 a.m. diner runs. Andrew keeps making these little comments about how I'm never home anymore, but like, sorry, I have a social life. I tried inviting him once, but he just sat there all awkward, barely talking to anyone. Total buzzkill. I've started putting more effort into my appearance, too. Did my old workout routine from college, started following some fitness influencers for motivation. Found my old going out clothes in the back of the closet. Can't believe Andrew made me pack these away when we moved in together. Not appropriate for a married woman, he said. Like, says who? Mackenzie's been such a good influence since her divorce. She keeps reminding me that life's too short to let marriage turn you into someone you're not. Last weekend we went to this new rooftop bar downtown, and for the first time in forever, I felt alive. Got hit on by this super cute bartender too. Obviously I told him I was married, but it felt good to know I've still got it. Andrew's been extra weird about everything lately. Like, God forbid I post a gym selfie or a girls' night picture. Suddenly he's all concerned about my changes in behavior. He actually tried to sit me down for a serious talk about how I seem distant. Maybe because you're suffocating me? The other night during girls' night, which is basically every night now, if I'm being honest, we got into this whole conversation about our wild college days. I might have gotten a little carried away talking about some of my adventures, especially the stuff about DeMarcus. Those were some crazy times. I was in the middle of this story about this one particular night when I noticed everything got kind of quiet. Turns out Andrew had come out of his cave to get water or whatever and heard the whole thing, including the part where I might have said I'd definitely hit that again about DeMarcus. Like it was obviously a joke, but Andrew got all weird and quiet. You know that scary quiet when someone's actually mad? He just filled his water glass and went back to the bedroom without saying anything. The girls tried to laugh it off, but even Mackenzie said maybe I should go check on him. As if. I'm not about to apologize for having a past. He knew who I was when he married me. Well, mostly knew. There might have been a few details I left out, but whatever. Everyone does that, right? Besides, it's not like I'm actually doing anything wrong. So what if I dress cute and go out with my friends? So what if I sometimes think about the good old days? Andrew's the one who changed. He used to love how spontaneous and fun I was. Now he acts like I'm some kind of wild child who needs to be tamed. I mean, look at our Instagram feeds. His is all car sales achievements and random history facts he thinks are interesting. Mine's full of life. Parties, friends, adventures. Sure, half my followers are guys from my single days, but that's just networking. And okay, maybe I have been texting with DeMarcus a little bit, but it's totally innocent, just catching up with an old friend. Andrew doesn't get it. He never had a fun phase. Went straight from being a serious student to a serious boyfriend to a serious husband. Sometimes I think that's the real problem. How can he understand what I'm missing if he never experienced it himself? Looking back, I can pinpoint exactly when things changed between us. Or maybe they never really changed. Maybe I just stopped trying so hard to be what he wanted. You know how when you first start dating someone, you're all about impressing them? Like, I actually used to wake up early to put on makeup before Andrew would see me. Me, the girl who used to show up to 8 a.m. classes in pajamas. I remember our first date so clearly. He wasn't even trying to take me out. I basically had to force him into it. We kept running into each other at this coffee shop near campus where I'd study, mostly scroll through Instagram, after class. He'd always be in this same corner spot, actually reading books like some kind of nerd. Not even textbooks, just random stuff about history or psychology. One day I literally tripped and spilled my drink all over his table trying to get his attention. Most guys would have been annoyed, but he just looked at me with this little smirk and said, "If you wanted to talk, you could have just said hi." That's what got me about Andrew back then. He saw right through my games. Like when I'd post thirst traps on Instagram hoping he'd react, he'd just text me "nice sunset" about the background. Or when I'd try to make him jealous by mentioning other guys, he'd just say, "Hope you had fun," and change the subject. It drove me crazy in the best way. For once, I was the one chasing someone instead of being chased. But now? God, the effort I have to put in just to get him to notice me is exhausting. Last week I spent like 2 hours getting ready for girls' night. New outfit, full face of makeup, the works. You know what Andrew said? "Have fun, babe." That's it. But I bet if I showed up to one of his boring work events in sweats again, he'd have another one of his conversations about supporting each other. Speaking of those conversations, remember how I mentioned DeMarcus moved back? So I might have accidentally liked a few of his recent posts. Nothing crazy, just some gym selfies and a throwback photo from college. Andrew saw it on my phone and got all weird about it. Started asking if I still think about my wild days a lot. Like, yes? Who doesn't miss when life was fun and easy? The crazy thing is, I used to remember every little detail about what DeMarcus liked. His favorite drink, Hennessy, what cologne he wore, Bleu de Chanel, even how he liked his eggs. He never stayed for breakfast, but whatever. Meanwhile, I forgot, Andrew was allergic to shellfish last week and ordered shrimp scampi for dinner. He didn't even get mad, just gave me this disappointed look and made himself a sandwich. Mackenzie says that's messed up, but she's one to talk. She's on her second divorce. The girls don't get it, though. They see Andrew as this perfect husband because he does all the right things. Pays bills on time, remembers anniversaries, fixes stuff around the house. But where's the passion, you know? Where's the excitement? Back in college, I'd drop everything if DeMarcus texted. One time I drove across town at 3 a.m. just because he said he was thinking about me. Now Andrew texts me about his day and I can barely be bothered to look up from TikTok. Mackenzie keeps saying I should be grateful. Do you know how many girls would kill for a man who actually has his life together? But I had those wild, passionate guys before. Maybe that's the problem. I know what I'm missing. And lately, scrolling through old photos from my single days, I can't help but wonder if I settled too soon. If I let my mom's pressure about marriage and my friends all coupling up push me into something I wasn't ready for. Don't get me wrong, I love Andrew. I think he's stable and reliable and all those things you're supposed to want in a husband. But sometimes, late at night when he's knocked out next to me and I'm still scrolling through Instagram, I catch myself wondering, is this really all there is? I'm Isabella, 32, and honestly, sometimes I look at my life and wonder how I ended up here. Like, don't get me wrong, I have what everyone says I should want. Decent job at Preston Insurance doing admin work, nice little starter home in the suburbs, and a husband who's, well, he's Andrew. God, Andrew. It's weird thinking back to when we first met 5 years ago. He was different then, or maybe I was different, I don't know. He had this thing about him, this quiet confidence that got under my skin, not like the other guys I was used to, all trying too hard with their flashy cars and fancy dinner reservations. Andrew would just be. Like that time at my friend's housewarming when everyone was trying to one-up each other with stories, and he just sat there taking it all in, dropping these random facts about Roman architecture or whatever. Who even knows that stuff? But somehow it was hot back then. I remember telling my best friend Mackenzie, this one's kind of weird, but like, good weird, you know? He'd do these things, like wake up at 3 a.m. to fix a leaky faucet because the sound was bugging him, or spend an entire Saturday installing solar lights along our walkway just because he thought it would look cool. And it did look cool. I'll give him that. Plus, I was pushing 27 when we met. My mom had started sending me these subtle articles about fertility after 35, and every time I went home for the holidays, it was all, did you hear Jennifer's daughter just got engaged? Meanwhile, my DMs were full of guys who couldn't even commit to dinner plans, let alone a future. And here was Andrew, talking about building a life together like it was the most natural thing in the world. So yeah, I fell for him. Or at least I think I did. Sometimes I look at him now during my girls' nights, when he's hiding out in our bedroom being all antisocial, and I barely recognize that guy I was so crazy about. He's still doing his weird little projects and keeping to himself. But now it just seems, I don't know, sad? Like, who wants to be married to someone who won't even hang out with their wife's friends? I mean, I get that he's selective about his circle or whatever, but would it kill him to make an effort? Last week during wine night, the girls were over, and I had to practically beg him to come say hi. He did this awkward wave thing and disappeared again. Mackenzie gave me this look like, girl, really? And yeah, I get it. Sometimes I look at my old Instagram posts from my single days, and it's like looking at a different person. Back then, I would have never put up with a guy acting like that. The funny thing is, and the girls always call me out on this, I used to bend over backwards for the dumbest guys. Like DeMarcus from college, who'd text me at 2 a.m., and I'd drive across town just because he said he missed me. Now Andrew asks me to pick up his dry cleaning that's literally on my way home, and suddenly I'm too tired or forgot. When did I become this person? But whatever. It's not like Andrew makes it easy to want to do stuff for him. He's got all these boundaries now. Always trying to have these serious talks about respect and consideration. Like last month, he got all weird just because I was on my phone while he was telling me about some big sale he made at the dealership. As if I need to give him my full attention for every little thing. The girls say I'm too hard on him sometimes, but they don't get it. They don't see how he's changed, how he's not that same guy who used to make my heart race just by looking at me a certain way. Now he's just there. Reliable, sure. Pays his half of the bills on time, remembers to take out the trash, fixes stuff around the house. But where's the excitement, you know? Sometimes I catch myself wondering what DeMarcus is up to these days. Just out of curiosity, obviously. I heard he moved back to town recently. Not that it matters or anything. I'm married now, got the ring and the mortgage and everything. This is what growing up looks like, right? Even if sometimes it feels more like settling down than settling in.